Hi guys, welcome back to Gamer Dad Reviews. This week we're taking a look at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was made by Respawn Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts. And TLDR, I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I never intended to play it, frankly. I wanted to play Cyberpunk 2077. But it was too buggy when I tried, and I also found it to be really disorienting, actually. I always prefer third-person games to first-person. I was disappointed that Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't third-person like The Witcher 3 was. So I've given up on Cyberpunk for now, and I booted into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order instead, just to see what it was like. And it actually sucked me in straight away, right from the intro. And I basically couldn't put it down until I clocked it. So I guess we're going to review that one this week instead. Now I know in the intro it did say that this game is available on Xbox Game Pass, but that's only the case for the console right now, not PC. That's because technically this game is on EA Play, not Game Pass directly. EA Play has been included in Xbox Game Pass since November. However, as of right now, it's still only included in the console version of Xbox Game Pass. It was supposed to be available on the PC version as of last month, but it seems like Microsoft and EA are still haggling on that one. So it's still not available on Xbox Game Pass for PC yet, although the expectation is that it shortly will be. But who knows when. So I didn't get this game through Xbox Game Pass myself. I got this game for free as part of a promotion when I bought an Intel i9 9900KF CPU about 6 months ago. I didn't get around to playing it at the time because I was still deep in one of my Dota 2 phases. But when the Christmas and New Year's holiday period hit, and I had some spare time for gaming, I ended up settling on this title, and I found the gameplay to be really fun. Would you find it fun too? Fun factor. Well, it depends on what sort of games you find fun, I guess. This game is mainly like a 3D platforming and adventure game, where you go jumping around exploring different planets and creeping around in alien tombs and ice caverns trying to solve different puzzles. But it also has heaps of melee lightsaber combat mixed into it as well. The 3D platforming aspect of the gameplay is very similar to Uncharted 4 on PlayStation, but far better in my opinion, because even on the PlayStation 5, Uncharted 4 is only running at 30 frames per second, which makes it feel so clunky and slow compared to Fallen Order. I doubt Naughty Dog will ever get around to patching it either, so if you like that sort of gameplay, the best place to get it in early 2021 is in this game. Especially since EA have released a next-gen patch for the new consoles. Digital Foundry tested it on both the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 and said that it made a huge difference to the smoothness and quality of the gameplay. The melee combat in Fallen Order is reminiscent of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, but unlike how the platforming in Fallen Order is better than Uncharted 4, the sword fighting in Fallen Order is not quite as good as the Sekiro game it's inspired by. At times the combat felt a little bit disjointed to me and didn't quite flow as well as it does in Sekiro, but it was still fun enough and it never felt like a chore to me. And even just the experience of wielding a lightsaber and using force powers in a game is so cool, so I'm not going to mark it down too much here. The character progression is handled really well in this game in my opinion, and it occurred to me that the character progression in Fallen Order can be seen as a sort of metaphor for the recent renaissance of the Star Wars franchise itself. When the game starts, we meet the main protagonist called Cal Kestis, who is an ex-Jedi Padawan who somehow survived Order 66 and has been hiding out on a scrapyard junk planet for the last 5 years. But in that time he lost his connection with the Force and all of his Force abilities have become atrophied. And that can be seen as sort of a metaphor for the Disney film trilogy, which came out about 5 years ago as well, and which was complete trash too, and caused Star Wars fans' love of the series to become atrophied as well. But gradually as you progress through the game, Cal Kestis has these flashback sequences where he remembers being trained by his Jedi Master. And through these flashbacks, he progressively begins to recover his Force abilities one by one. First the Force slow ability, then the Force push ability, then the Force pull ability, etc. And that can be seen as sort of like a metaphor for the way the Mandalorian TV show gradually began to win the hearts and minds of Star Wars fans back as well, by having flashbacks to beloved old characters like Ahsoka Tano and Boba Fett and a new Yoda-like character, and all of that helped to gradually recapture the old Star Wars feeling little by little. So when in Fallen Order, Cal finally recovers his ability to do the Jedi double jump, it's exhilarating, and you find yourself cheering and thinking, fuck yeah, this finally feels like a real Star Wars game. And that's exactly like how when Luke Skywalker returned in the last episode of The Mandalorian, fans were jumping out of their seats and cheering too, because it finally felt like the old Star Wars was back. So anyway, those were the parallels between The Mandalorian and Fallen Order which occurred to me, and I feel like it's a valid comparison because they're both just really fun, faithful recreations of the Star Wars universe, which recapture the magic in a way that the Disney films and the previous EA games did not. However, I want to put a caveat in here because I recently downloaded Battlefront 2 for free from the Epic giveaway a week or so ago, and holy shit, it's good now too. It's like Battlefield 5 in space, but with Sith Lords and Jedis and all the characters from the lore. A lot of people criticized EA Star Wars games previously, but even now they are starting to come good as well. So yeah, things are looking up for the Star Wars franchise as a whole in 2021. Battlefront 2 doesn't have a story to speak of though, whereas Fallen Order does have a story, and it's a good one in my opinion. It's not that compelling that it will enhance your life and you're missing out if you never experience it, but it's coherent and it doesn't have any obvious plot holes, and there's a really shocking twist at the end of the game which actually made me feel palpable fear and added a whole nother interesting dimension, not just to the story of the game, but also to the lore of the universe as well. I won't spoil it for you, but if you're a Star Wars fan, then I think you'll get a lot of entertainment out of this story. When I say a lot, I'll let you know that it did take me 21 hours to roll credits on this game, which is about the same length reported from other gamers as well. That's a long time for me with my work and family commitments. I wouldn't have wanted the game to go on for any longer, but it didn't feel too long, so I guess it's about right as it is. I'm going to give this game an 8 for gameplay and 8 for story for an overall fun factor of 8. Immersion factor. The immersiveness of Fallen Order is a triumph because the graphics were really good and the musical score was superb. The voice acting was excellent from all the characters except for the main actor who played Cal Kestis. He was terrible. But even then I can forgive that because it's almost like a Star Wars tradition to cast a really wooden actor in the lead role. Whether that be Mark Hamill or Hayden Christensen or any other lead Star Wars actor, they're always pretty terrible. So in a strange way, it made me feel even more immersed in the Star Wars universe to have such a hammy lead actor. All the other actors were excellent though, from Liam McIntyre to Forrest Whitaker and all of the other supporting characters, they were all excellent. It ran smooth as a moose on my PC between 80 to 90 frames per second at 1440p ultra wide with all the graphics settings maxed. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 for graphics, a 9 for sound, and a 9 for the frame rates as well, which adds up to 9 overall obviously for immersion factor. So crunching the numbers and doing the math, we gave it an 8 for fun factor, a 9 for immersion, so that gives us a total score overall of 8.5. So yeah, I do recommend this game, mainly to Star Wars fans or sci-fi fans. Even if you were a Star Wars fan, but then you lapsed since the disappointment with the Disney movies, I still think you can get a lot of fun and entertainment out of this game. In fact, it might help to provide some measure of catharsis for recapturing your love of the series, alongside watching the Mandalorian TV show. So don't be hesitant to check it out if you happen to have an Xbox with Xbox Game Pass, or even on PC if and when EA Play becomes available there too. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching everyone. Cheers.